everybody, Ahmad from Modifications here. So today's video, I want to cover audio. So I am not an audiophile, meaning I don't necessarily need the best sound system. I don't need to win bass competitions. I don't need the rattling and everything that comes with a really aggressive sound system. However, based on the music I listen to, and music being my second favorite hobby next to cars, it is important for me for the music to sound full. Ever since people started taking delivery of the Kia EV6, one of the biggest things I've seen as a complaint, including mine, is the mediocre sound system. So my philosophy on the sound system right now is it does come with a Meridian sound system. I think the Meridian hardware is good. However, I don't think the tuning is good. In this video, I want to cover what I believe is a kind of a band-aid to help make the sound a little bit more full. It really helps the music I listen to, which I listen to a lot of punk rock, but I also listen to a lot of like electronic music. And of course, my wife and my child listen to a lot of pop and Taylor Swift and all that kind of stuff as well. And really it helps. So this is mostly geared towards Android users, but I will talk about what I've done on my wife's iPhone, which isn't rocket science. It's just the equalizer settings that I've messed with. So let's get started with the app that I use to help make everything sound a lot better. And this app is called Poweramp, and we're going to take a quick look at it. So let's go. Okay, so let's start with the app. The first app you need for Android users is called Poweramp Equalizer. When you type in Poweramp, a music player pops up, but you need the equalizer. So I'm going to install it. It'll take a minute to install. And I'm doing this all over so that way you get the same experience as me. I open, hit allow, turns this on. So right now, what I'm going to do is exit out of the trial. You actually don't really need to pay for the app. I did because I really liked the fact that it helped out a lot. But I'm going to hide hints. And for now, I'm going to go into the settings and turn the processing off because I want to do it before and after. And then we'll get into the app. So for this purposes of this video, I'm going to use Epidemic Sound, which is a license-free music app that I pay for on a monthly basis, just to play some music. And we'll just choose this one. So it's playing through my sound system now, and it just sounds okay. It's pretty hollow. The bass is pretty low, and I have the bass turned up quite a bit in here. And to prove it, I will show you. So even at 8, the bass is just, it's weak. It's not that great, and it doesn't sound very full. So let's get back to this. I'm going to turn this down a little bit. So now while I'm running this song, I'm going to go back into Poweramp. I'm going to actually turn this back on. And now what it does is you can go to this equalizer. This is the default way of seeing the screen. You basically can scroll and turn up different frequencies on each song, just like a standard equalizer if you know anything about audio. And even if you don't, like me, I just kind of mess with it until it sounds good. So a lot of the stuff on the left is all bass. It's bass frequencies. So you can actually turn these individually up and see. Most of the time mine looks pretty heavy like this. The other thing that I actually like to do is go to this little chart right here, hit compressor, and then I can actually mess with different settings and make things sound even better or even clearer as I need to. Otherwise, you can also just leave that off and go ahead and mess with these ones right here. This is a really cool tool. I know it sounds like, okay, you know, this is too obvious. How much of a difference does it make? It makes a massive difference. You can turn the bass up, you can turn the different frequencies up, and the music just sounds so much better on an Android device through the Meridian sound system. One thing to note that I've seen some finickiness on is, I don't know why Android does this, but if I'm in my music, for example, so let's say I'm listening to this, and if I go in here and go to settings, Android itself has an equalizer, and it's actually in playback. However, this equalizer will sometimes overwrite what Poweramp is doing, and all of a sudden the sound doesn't sound that great. Or this just resets itself and I have to hit custom again, and then it turns the bass up. You can use this equalizer. It helps a little bit. However, the Poweramp really just is next level. I think it just adds so much more. This is the preamp. You can actually raise the preamp. It makes things sound even louder, but obviously the higher you go here, the more distorted it could sound. So you just find the balance that works for you. So anyway, I know this isn't like a professional walkthrough, but at the end of the day, just download Poweramp, mess with the settings. I feel like you'll be very happy if you have an Android phone. And yeah, that also works through a wired Android Auto connection or a wireless Android Auto connection. On the iPhone, I just struggled a little bit. I could not find the equalizer, and I know I'd messed with it before. Turns out with iOS 16.3, which is what my phone is on, you have to have Apple Music downloaded to get to the equalizer. Now, I have never and don't ever plan on using Apple Music, so I just downloaded the app and I threw it on here. So in the meantime, I'm just going to let that kind of float in the back. But this is how you would do it. You go to settings, and let's just say you're scrolling down. Right under here, under where the photos, camera stuff is, music pops up. This does not pop up if Apple Music is not downloaded onto your phone. So now you go here and then EQ, and this is where you can actually change the equalizer based on what kind of music you're listening to. Now, the interesting part here is that I don't think I can actually customize the equalizer, which I could have sworn you can on, and I don't know, I thought I did it on my wife's phone. However, yep, it looks like this is basically your choices right here. And I would definitely mess with those equalizer settings. So even if you don't use Apple Music, make sure it's downloaded. And if you're using Spotify or YouTube Music or whatever, you can now change the equalizer settings. I'm sure somebody will come in with a lot better information about how to use equalizers on the iPhone. Unfortunately, I don't really use an iPhone much. I use Android most of the time. So yeah, that is my suggestion for now to make it sound better. So let's test it out real quick. I know you can't tell in the speakers through a video, but let's see what it actually sounds like. So a little bassy, not super bassy. So let's go back into settings and go to music, equalizer. Let's do increase bass. Oh yeah, it sounds quite a bit better. So definitely recommend this even if you're an iOS user. I think the Meridian sound system can definitely use the help. Well, thanks for watching. I'm not like a professional DIY maker, but this is just one topic that comes up a lot, and I wanted to make sure I talk to people about what I've done to help the experience, because I do think it works a lot better when you actually set the equalizer. Out of the box, it doesn't matter what you do, it just doesn't sound that great. So anyway, hope that helps, and if you have any questions, comments, whatever, you want to make fun of me for being so non-techy, go for it. Just leave something in the comments. Otherwise, have a good one, and we'll see you in the next video.